Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids started using it right away and haven't stopped since. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Hot topic. Hello and welcome to the Neuro Spicy News. Hot topic.
Get your news. Get your spicy news. Hot off the press. Oh, feel it. Ain't it warm? Get your news.
Super hot off the press because...
Oh, feel it. It's lukewarm. Straight out the oven.
We're talking about the Kellie Bright documentary that literally came out as of recording yesterday. We're recording on a Tuesday, people, and you're listening on a Friday. There I go, breaking the fourth wall again.
Oh, stop it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll let you off.
Sorry.
People know that this isn't live, and if you do think this live, newsflash, that's not the hot topic. It ain't live. I wish it were.
But yeah, so I saw a post about this on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really, really good." On a page called Jojo Happy, so check them out. And I thought, I'll have a little talk about that. And the post went 500,000 people reached viral.
Ooh.
Simply because I was speaking about my experience with the EHCP system and my kids not being diagnosed. And I was really interested to watch this documentary because even though it no longer affects me, it will affect me in the future with my grandchildren and helping my kids with this.
I mean, it affected me just watching it back, dude, and I have no children.
Yeah. So I have a future dog in this fight because things need to bloody change. Because getting an educational health and care plan is hard enough as it is. You have to jump through a million hoops. And then when you've got it, like getting schools to actually do it, actually do what it says on the tin, as it were, is another fight. Like every stage of being a parent to a neurodivergent child, when you have a system that seems to actively work against you, it's insane.
Oh, bro! Every time you achieve something, and then suddenly like boss music starts playing again, and you're like, "What the fuck? Like, what's going on now?" It's it's just never ending, bro.
That's such a good comparison, dude. Because it's literally like I was playing Dying Light the other day, and I'm on the final boss, and I'm like, "Okay, he's dead." And then suddenly he's like, "No, I'm not," and he sort of injected himself with some venom or something, and then suddenly he's like 10 million times the size, and I've got, okay, there's another 3-hour boss fight.
Yeah,
but yeah, that is literally how it seems. So, do you want to tell us about the documentary in case people haven't heard about it?
Let's give a rundown. So, UK viewers, I'm sure many of you are aware of the Panorama series, which is on the BBC. It highlights news stories that are either affecting society en masse or going unseen or unheard, which I'm sure many people will agree that this is certainly going seen and unheard. So this is Kellie Bright. She's an EastEnders actor, and she, in this documentary, which is Autism, Schools and Families on the Edge, meets parents who say they're exhausted by the fight to get the right education for their autistic children. She follows 3 families who are applying to their councils for education, health and care plan, which is the EHCP you were just mentioning. It's a crucial document which says where a child goes to school and what extra supports they should get. During this, Kellie learns that a crisis in funding for children with special education needs and disabilities is contributing to financial trouble for many local authorities, and the government is promising reform, but not that kind of reform. Drawing on her own experience as a mother to an autistic son, Kellie helps the children explain in their own words why they find school so hard and finds out what they and their parents think would help them to cope better and thrive.
It was emotional, man.
Oh, dude, I'm still feeling it. I'll be honest, I've only just finished watching it and I'm still a bit jittery, if I'm totally honest.
it was nothing I haven't experienced before as far as like the outrage, not the documentary. The documentary's brilliantly done, by the way. Like, it's so neuroaffirming.
Yeah, kudos to them. Yeah.
The language was fantastic. The people were fantastic. The kids were fantastic. It was so good. I do have a few issues with it personally. There's like a few things here and there, but I actually am not going to talk about them because I don't really think they're relevant to the documentary overall. I'm very, very picky. So I'm obviously going to have a few things here and there. But, you know, I think that we need more documentaries like this. And what I would have liked to have seen, okay, so I'll give you one of my little problems with this. I would have liked to have seen a series, not a one-off. This needed a series to show more parents and maybe more of an extreme, because I did feel this was the fluffy version. Here's me. I won't talk about it, and then I'm talking about it.
But I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Oh, God damn my brain. It was fluffy. It was a little bit fluffy because I know people who have had way worse experiences with the councils, with the schools, with their kids. I don't know if it's appropriate to put this on TV, but self-hurting happens. I did it. You did it.
Yeah, I did.
A lot of kids are doing it. That I think is something that needs to be addressed because school causes that in a lot of cases. School caused me to self-harm. So I think that I would like more documentaries like this that show the more extreme side of what this can cause. But this in itself was a really, really good entry level.
I'm glad you've said entry level. It definitely feels like don't get me wrong, I agree. I think there's a lot more that they could have shown. I feel like in certain areas this documentary played it safe, but it also is a conversation starter. It's raising awareness for many people that don't understand it. And a lot of the time you put self-harm warning labels or suicide labels on the front of documentaries, people will not watch them. So there has to be a sort of give and take to get people to come to the table to have this conversation with us. So I understand, but there is also a lot that I feel like they sort of skirted over.
Yeah. But I do think that them mentioning the demand avoidant profile within the program was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Seeing the little girl in that environment and what her mum has to do and what that poor little girl has to go through. And, you know, I do think that it really did open a few eyes. I can imagine people who don't experience this or don't understand send kids watching this documentary and just thinking, just smack that kid or just discipline. Or I don't know what people think now.
Tell them to get a grip and just send them to, yeah.
Just chuck them in like, you know, this mollycoddling. Now, I am a big advocate against mollycoddling or moddycoddling children to a degree that it does not do them good. It does them more harm than good for the future because, you know, the world's not going to give you lemons. The world's more likely to
squeeze them in your eye and
throw lemons in your face rather than give them to you.
Yeah.
And you do have to prepare kids for that. But there's plenty of time to do that. And I think when a kid is really, really young and they're just struggling just to go to primary school, that isn't the time to be like, right, I'm going to teach you lessons of life now.
Not at all.
You've got a long time to teach your kids life lessons. And I think just getting them to school, just getting them around other people. And I think that you do have to put boundaries in place and you do have to put your foot down with some things. But this is the thing, is that you can't just be like, this is how you deal with a child, because every kid is completely different. You have to be so careful that you don't damage a child, because the idea of just like, oh, just discipline them, which I'll be honest, that's what I was taught. So I kind of did that with my kids. So I'll just discipline them. And I definitely did that with my kids, and it was wrong. That's why I can speak about this, because I did it, and I shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. Now I do it a lot better. It is a balancing act, but so it's really hard, and it shows this in the documentary, how hard it is with these kids and what they have to go through. So you're already, and you're more likely you're going to be a neurodivergent parent, let's be honest, even if you don't know you are, genetics, you are, or your partner is. So you're dealing with your own neurodivergence, and then you're dealing with your kids' neurodivergence. And then the one thing that you want is the school to be supportive, or the council to be supportive, or most of all, the government that you voted for to be supportive.
That you pay for with your taxes.
That you literally pay for with your taxes, that they take a nice 25% or 27%.
Oh, and don't they spend it well?
Oh, no. No, they don't.
No, they do not.
No, they do not. But let's go through a few things that were brought up in this documentary that even I was like, phew.
Well, it's incredibly eye-opening for me, because I am not a parent, but I have been a child that has been like so much of what happened in this documentary from all three of the children, even though my situations are different. There was so much from each family that resonated with me and made me reflect on my own experiences as a kid. And it also gave me a bit of an insight into how my parents might have felt as well. But yeah, let's get into the struggles of like getting something that every SEND kid's right should be. The bit that absolutely melted my brain, dude, is the waiting time. The waiting time that people have, where it was like, oh yeah, it could be, 8 to something weeks. And then one person was saying it took 8 months. 8 months in the life of a child is an unbelievable amount of time.
I mean, that's even if they get a diagnosis, which most of the time nowadays, now we've got Right to Choose, which obviously is something that we sponsor, Right to Choose. But like me and my family, you might end up having to go private. So it was a brilliant phrase that one of the dads in this said, is that the government are putting roadblocks in place, which is ruining kids' futures, like it's just it's almost like where's the quote? Yeah, the quote is well, I paraphrase. It seems to be a deliberate policy of fatigue, because so many parents will give up and they know it, but it should never be about money. It should be about the children. I added that last bit. That was in relation to the fact that the initial stage of the HCP, around 25% of the EHCPs are turned down before they even reach the assessment stage. So 25% are turned down without even meeting the kid, which is, What
a joke.
If a kid the kid has a diagnosis, and which I also think is like, that's gatekeeping as well. The kid has a diagnosis. They're diagnosed autistic. So they're diagnosed, they have, according to the medical model of autism, they have a disability, whether it's ADHD. By the way, dyslexia wasn't even mentioned in this. And I'm like, why can't dyslexic kids own the HCP? Just saying, because dyslexia is point. Like, why? I mean, I don't know if they do or not. Maybe I need to do some more research, but it wasn't mentioned in the documentary. And I'm like, okay. But her, Kellie Bright's kid has ADHD, is autistic, and is also dyslexic. But yeah, so around 25% of EHCPs are turned down without even meeting the kid. And so a stranger will literally judge whether a child needs additional needs without him meeting the kid. And one of the kids literally had that happen. It was turned down for him. And when I look at like the type of autistic person he is, I would say, just from evaluating, from watching the documentary, that kid needs a special school.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is not suited for mainstream school.
No.
He was badly bullied. But I mean, we're all badly bullied, but that kid was badly bullied. I mean, he carries a cuddly toy around with him. Now, I carry a cuddly toy around with me, but I can defend myself. And if someone says anything, I tell them to fuck off. But that kid is not me.
No, he's not, no.
That kid cannot defend himself, and that kid should be given the same educational rights as any other kid to reach his potential.
Yeah.
But he was, it was tragic. I feel like we're just doing spoiler, but like just, so turn this off now if you haven't watched it. But not only was he denied it before an assessment, he went and had an assessment. And if I'm remembering correctly, they turned around and said, oh no, he can go to like mainstream. And they're like, well, no. So they keep trying to send these kids to mainstream when they clearly are not going to be good in mainstream.
Yeah, because schools don't get funding if kids don't turn up. It's all about the dollar. This is the bit that's messing with my head. And the bit that messed with my head even more, dude, is the insurmountable amount of paperwork that neurodivergents have to fill in, providing yet another hurdle that they may struggle with. I don't like doing paperwork. I did my PIP assessment, and the whole time I was doing this, it was like, oh, you need help climbing a mountain? Well, get past base 1, rest a bit, get past base 2, and then you can start climbing the mountain when you're already 2,000 feet up. It's like, wow, just tell me that you don't want me to have this. But according to the Ministry of Justice in 2024 last year, 99% of EHCP cases that go to tribunal are won by the family in England.
Yeah, that's what that guy was talking about, that sort of deliberate hurdle that's put in place by the government.
If 99% of people, if it goes to a tribunal, 99% is essentially you will get what you deserve.
Yeah, which they should just got it in the first place.
But then that kid might have been out of school for 8 months by that time.
Plus, that's all that time that the parent, time and energy that the parents have to put into getting their kid the help that they clearly deserve, because 99% of them win their cases. So the kid definitely deserved it in the first place. And all that energy was put into that, which they could have put that energy into helping their kid even more.
Your neurodivergent parents as well, the anguish, the rejection sensitivity that you're going to go through, the continuous worry that you must be living with. You aren't creating mental health issues just for the child. You're creating a life of hurdles for these parents as well that are just trying to get on with their everyday lives and also trying to protect their children from a system that is not fit to serve them. And I recognize this in my own parents' struggles of when I had to come out of school and nobody offered even, there was like no EHCP or anything, or even picked up on the fact that I was neurodivergent. I was just disruptive and didn't want to learn. And my parents took me out of school because they were like, you ain't staying there. It wasn't, we weren't told to move. We moved. We made that decision ourselves. And it was such a traumatic time for me and my family. I carry a lot of issues from that time in my life when I was 6-7 years old. So much of my rejection sensitivity dysphoria comes from that time. So much of how I view myself and how I viewed myself for so much of my life came from a time where I thought, I can't even fit in the school system. How the hell am I going to fit into the real world? And it was such a battle. I still battle those feelings now of trying to feel like I fit in or I'm worthy to be here. Because quite frankly, a naff school told me I wasn't good enough to be there.
Yeah, I'm fortunately in the place where I'm just like, not only am I good enough to be here, but people are fortunate enough that I'm here. Like I feel like that. I feel like I'm doing good, that no one can tell me that I'm not worth it, that I'm not a good enough person.
I'm getting there.
Well,
I am getting there.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love
like
you.
Well, you're coming down on Friday.
Where? Steady on.
Well, technically
it's a family show. It's a family show.
Me and Scotty are going to be together again today.
Yeah, we'll be holding hands as you're listening to this.
I see you at 6 p.m, baby.
But anyway, let's get back to the show.
Well, yeah,
that's a different type of show. Maybe if you want to see the extra one, you pay for it. But what I will say is that
behind the scenes,
this is behind closed doors. But there was a part of this documentary that was it hit home for you, didn't it? Because it's your local council that they spoke to.
Yeah. So one of the few councils who actually agreed to talk, which is terrible, by the way, because like they actually got quotes from other councils and it sounded like ChatGPT wrote it. Like, this council really appreciates every parent and tries their best to for every kid.
The council thanks you for reaching out. Insert name.
It's like, yeah, okay, AI. Thanks for writing that. But yeah, so West Sussex County Council actually spoke to Kellie Bright in the interview, and wow, that kind of blew my mind because we're in a lot of debt. Sussex is in trouble. So yeah, so West Sussex County Council said the state of the system is broken. Like, that is the quote from the lady from my council, is that the system is broken.
How's it going, council? It's not good. Back to you.
It's broken. Yeah. The send, the need for send in schools, the EHCPs and additional needs, it's broken, right? And the demand is now outstripped the funding. So the worst thing is that, and I don't see the worst thing when the funding is concerned, because this is, let's be honest, this is all the government. This is Conservatives started this crap, right?
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter who's in.
And then right-wing Labour, because we're not going to call them Labour because they're right-wing Labour. They're not left-wing Labour anymore. Right-wing Labour have just carried on where the Conservatives have. I don't even want to. One day we're going to talk about like where we go from here, but I can't even fathom that because everything just seems to be falling apart. But I'm going to concentrate on autism at the moment, and I'm going to concentrate on ADHD, and I'm going to be here for neurodivergence. And let's just hope it all works out because, man, we need it. So I digress. So the demand has outstripped the funding, and it's 3,423 kids needed EHCP in West Sussex in 2015. And the lady said that today the figure is in excess of 10,000. So wow. 10 years later, it's more than doubled. And that's just in this area. But overall, according to the documentary, the number of children with the EHCPs has increased by 80% in the last 6 years, according to the Department of Education, because parents and teachers in healthcare, this is what I've added this, parents and teachers in healthcare professionals have just become better at recognising special needs.
Mm-hmm, which is true. More cars on the road, more car accidents.
Yeah. I mean, it's not paracetamol.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. And I took 3 today just for this interview.
Well, there you go. But yeah, no, it's not paracetamol. No. It's just better understanding of what special needs are. Because at school when I was a kid, I should have had an EHCP. Like, definitely, like that would have been massively helpful for me. Mm. But no, I mean, it wasn't even considered. Even though I was diagnosed hyperactive, which is ADHD, but back in my day, I was just hyperactive. I ate too much sugar. It's my own fault.
It's the pesky blue Smarties.
Yeah, the fucking blue Smarties. It was basically all my fault, as literally my birth mother would tell me. It was your fault. I'm like, okay, then. You ate
one refresher and you were just, failed school. Crikey.
Oh, yes. But so the amount of money schools are expected to spend on each SEND pupil hasn't gone up since 2013. So that's even before the 2015, where it's already 3,000 something. But, costs have soared by 40% in the last 12 years. And that was according to the NAS, who was also on the programme.
Let's all boo together. Boo.
Well, I mean, what they said was good. So I suppose that's one thing.
Yeah, the guy that spoke was...
Yeah, no, he was fine.
He was right.
He was from the... We're not fans of National Autistic Society on this programme. I don't know if you know that. And and if you want to know why, just look into them. Do some research. They are. You'll find out. I don't like them. But yeah, they have their uses within this documentary. What is going on is there is a lot more awareness. There is a lot more kids who qualify for SEND because it's just better now. There's not more SEND kids. There's just more kids that are getting help, potentially. But the government still are being like, nah, you ain't getting no more money. And I'm like, wow. So this government really care about the future of our children? Nope. No,
this
they
is
don't.
the thing that so frustrates me, dude. Like West Sussex County Council say the deficit of funding due to SEND pupils is £123.2 million, which is supposed to be used for local services such as road repair. If only they would repair the roads.
Yeah, that bit of the documentary made me go,
because then that's loads of people going to go, what about the potholes?
Yeah,
what
literally.
about the potholes? Put the kids in the potholes.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, if you're the sort of person that's literally thinking, oh, well, maybe we should just maybe we should make potholes with these children. It's the same as blaming immigrants for like every single issue when it's not the immigrants' fault, it's the government's fault. And the government just blame the immigrants. And West Sussex County Council weren't blaming SEND. They absolutely weren't doing that. They were just making the point that because they were blaming the government and saying, no, the government have put us in so much debt, they should be giving us this money because this money should be spent on SEND kids and all these other things for local services. That's what the money, because the fact is that we pay county council tax, right? Council tax.
That's right.
And that money is now being used for SEND kids, is what my understanding of this is, because they're picking up the bill. So because the government aren't picking up the bill, the government are only giving them a certain amount of money, which is like I said, 2013 money. It's not enough money.
Remember when beers were like £3?
Yeah, literally. And even I thought that was expensive. £3.50 for a beer.
£3.50, you can jog on.
I thought that's
you'd be lucky if you get that in change
that
now.
was Surrey prices, was £3.50 for a beer when I worked at a pub 20 years ago. More, so old. There's the council picking it up. So essentially we're paying for the SEND kids, which is not right. And it's not right that I'm paying. It's not right that the council's paying. It's not right that the government aren't paying, because that's what they should be doing. So Kelly did have an interview with George Gold, who is the educational minister for SEND reforms. And she told Bright that the reforms will not take support away from families and that there will always be a legal right to additional support for young people with SEND. So she's a chat GBT bot because she came out with the same sort of garbage that politicians usually come out with. It's just spin. See, this I would have gone hard. Like Kellie Bright was too nice. But the thing is that if you go too hard, you're not going to get. I don't blame Kellie Bright.
It's also a BBC documentary, so they're not going to apply certain pressures because of impartiality and all that bollocks.
Yeah, plus they love right-wing politics apparently now. But isn't it crazy talking about Labour's right-wing politics? But it is, and that's where we are in the world. But yeah, so the right-wing government who tried to stop PIP. Who tried to destroy
because we need more monies for weapons to secure the future of this country that won't have any children left in it.
So yeah, the right-wing government that just tried to destroy the lives of many, many disabled people is now hindering the lives of many, many young disabled people and not allowing them to have an equal future. And yeah, so there are government reforms in the works, and like it made me think, but does that mean it's going to get worse? Because if the government are trying to take away your PIP, does that mean this is going to get worse? And that's why I think this documentary is so important, because the government, they just need to do better. They really, really do. But then I could say that about everything, and it's never going to. I don't know. Honestly, I do despair sometimes, but let's hope something happens with this. Let's hope something.
It's a conversation starter, and I know for a fact that there will be a lot of parents that will watch this documentary and see themselves, but there will also be a lot of parents of this documentary who will see their neighbours, and they will see other kids in schools, and it will give them a bit of an awareness. It may also give them a bit of empathy. We've heard many stories on this show, and especially on your page, of parents of neurotypical kids going, why do they get special treatment? Watch this documentary and you'll see why. It's not special treatment, it's accommodation. And No kid should be out of school for 8 months. No kid should be out of school for nearly a year, struggle with severe burnout, and then be told after this entire process, the best school for you is the one that your child can't stand. There needs to be serious change, and this is a conversation starter.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like with my kids, we never even got any of this help, even though, you know, the school knew about my kids being neurodivergent, because they didn't have an official diagnosis, which we were on a list. And then I eventually went, sod that, I'll just pay for it because we had to, because that's what you do for your kids. You give up the holiday that we did actually have planned that year. We gave up that holiday because you do it for your kids. And when I see this, the sacrifices these parents were making in the documentary, and knowing the sacrifices that parents make, it blows my mind. So I want to extend this a little bit because I had a few things I wanted to add to this from a post that I put out, basically just asking for people's experiences. I'll just read a couple of these. So this lady says about the documentary, we are in the midst of trying to choose a school for Key Stage 2 at the moment, not enough locally and seems impossible. I've emailed local MP and no response. This will be so relatable, I'm sure, and please, people are trying to raise awareness of the struggles we face. And that was just a random comment. There's 436 comments on this post. All people, all families, 436 families just on this one post that are going through this, that are just like, help me. I watched this program and it was enlightening and shows struggles parents have. My daughter struggles with my grandson every day, but who listens? I mean, that sums it up. Like, that's the problem, is that there's such a disconnect. And a lot of the times schools are nefarious. There are nefarious schools, but a lot of the time schools are trying their best. The money's just not there. Some councils are run by numpties. That's just the way the life is, especially if they're conservatives. But it doesn't help parents when you're like, well, you can't blame them, you can't blame them, you can't blame them. It's like, well, they're not out to blame someone. They just want help. They just want help. This last comment, what annoys me is that mainstream schools are getting extra funding for SEND kids and doing nothing with it. I asked for years for a TA for my kids, never got one, only excuses. I can't verify that. I'm just saying that's what this lady said. That sounds like a whole other problem, which is why I said I think this subject, it needs to be delved in further. There needs to be more documentaries. There needs to be a series about this, because this isn't something you can skirt over. This isn't something that it's not clickbait. This is people's lives. This is something that we need to revisit, I think, certainly. But, you know, we do our best.
All we can do is sort of, you know, continue to keep raising awareness, keep having these sorts of conversations, and know that even though we can't reach through a headphone or a radio and help you, know that we care, know that we're listening, and know that you're not alone.
Definitely.
All right, wonderful people. Well, yeah, what a hot topic. And unfortunately, this one isn't going to go away anytime soon. So you will hear us talk about it more. But if you're listening to this, you know, send comments on Jordan's page, have conversations with other parents. Don't try and feel alone with this. And if you can, as the best as you possibly can, just try and take care of yourself and be safe out there, and just keep loving your kids, because that's all we can do.
Indeed. All right.
Bye,
See you later.
And yes, and we don't know how to leave conversations, so we'll leave it there. Bye, everybody.
Nightly, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you. whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids started using it right away and haven't stopped since. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again.